So over the course of many years of studying the runes and everything that involves the runes, not just the Elder Futhark, the Younger Futhark, but going beyond that scope, one of my favorite subjects are the Runestones. The monolithic stones that can be anywhere from, twice as tall as me to being little nubby boulders hidden in the grass. Some of them are memorial stones. Some of them tell of great conquests to England or to the Mediterranean Sea, North Africa. Others have different variations. Some give out curses, and some commemorate certain moments like historical value, like the gelling stones in Denmark. And they are primarily the runic inscriptions that were done by rune masters. Some left their name, some are known, some are unknown of who they did it. Most of the rune stones that you'll find today that survived from the Viking Age period and post-Viking Age period, and even before that, you'll find primarily in Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. As I've said before, Sweden has the highest concentration, Denmark has the second highest concentration, then Norway. But as I've said in some other prior videos, there are rune stones that were done during that period area I was just talking about that are found, I believe there's 3 in the Faroe Islands, 1 in Ukraine, there's a number of them in Germany, 1 on that island in Ukraine, I can't remember the name of the island at the moment, Italy, the famous the Lion Runestone, and then all the ones in North America are fake. They've been proven. There's one that is quite enigmatic, quite interesting, quite fascinating in Greenland. Before I get to that, here's the thing about runestones that's very important that people need to realize. So there are some runestones that survive that were erected and carved before the Viking Age began. They date prior to the 8th century that do have Elder Futhark carvings on them of the runes. And then there are some that kind of are in that little interesting transitional period when the Elder Futhark was being phased out, the Younger Futhark was being come in to really for more writing of Old Norse. And so there are some runestones that have a little bit of a mix between Elder Futhark and Younger Futhark. But the majority of runestones that you'll find across the whole of Europe, especially Scandinavia, are done in the Younger Futhark, in some variant of the Younger Futhark. Either it's short twig, long branch, or it could be like the Danish variant, the Swedish variant, what have you. There's something very interesting, though, about the Greenland Runestone that really sticks out. 2 things really that really stick out that make it such a special, unique runestone. It's called, I hope I don't butcher this, the Kingittorsuaq Runestone. It's listed in the rune data as the only runestone in Greenland, and the rune data ID is GR1M. It was found in the Kingittorsuaq Island, that's part of the Rúnabók archipelago in northwestern Greenland. What's interesting about this runestone is that, relatively speaking, with regards to runestones, it was found in 1824 in a group of 3 cairns. Those are kind of like a rock burial mound thing that formed an equilateral triangle on the top of a mountain on the island in the south central part of the Rúnabók archipelago. The stone now is at the National Museum of Denmark in Copenhagen. Now, as I was saying before, you do have some runestones that have survived that have the Elder Futhark. Most of them have the Younger Futhark. This runestone is estimated to have been made between the year 1250 and 1333 CE. We're talking way after the end of the Viking Age. Now, let me show you this runestone for a moment here, and I'm going to point out a couple of things, and then we're going to talk about it. So this is an image of the runestone, digitally enhanced, I believe this one is. Now, what makes this runestone so interesting is that these runes are not Elder Futhark. They're not Younger Futhark. They're Medieval Futhark, which was the next evolution of the Futhark family that was primarily used. You'd find these in like manuscripts during the Middle Ages. So really around this time, so from like, the 13th century up until 16th century, if I remember right. So that's what makes us so unique. But something else that makes us really unique are these last 6 symbols right here. Now, the Kingittorsuaq Runestone has been studied by runologists and historians for a long time, pretty much since its discovery. And to this day, no one's quite sure what those are. However, there is a theory, one that after doing my own personal research, I think is very feasible, is that it is the medieval runes of Swilo, Manaz, and Algiz, or maybe even Yeren or Yera. It's the evolution of the runes, and that those are indeed Bindrunes. Now, why would there be 6 Bindrunes in a row? It might be some kind of Bindrune runic cipher. So whoever that rune master was, which if I remember right, the rune master is unknown. We don't know who the rune master. We don't know who carved it. Now, I get to more in details regarding this runestone in my book series, Rúnabók, A Journey Through the Runes, where I deliver to you my own theory. What is known is the runic inscription, which it seems to be a memorial stone. And there's a lot of details you get into it because of the fact that it was on top of a cairn, that it may have dealt with someone's death. There are names involved in the runestone itself, but it is a very enigmatic runestone that really stands out. And the fact that it's just this one that has the medieval Futhark and the 6 Bindrunes on it that no one knows what they are, what they mean to this day. I do give my own theories on that. Makes it one of the most fascinating runestones and the only one that survives in Greenland. Now, of course, if you are interested in learning more about the runestones, you can get the regular copies, volumes 1 through 3, where one of the chapters involves the runestones. Or if you just want the runestones yourself, you can get the special coffee table edition, which has high quality images and features many different runestones across not just Scandinavia, but across Europe, the Faroes, Greenland, all across Europe, like I said, and even debunking or featuring the ones in North America that have already been debunked. And of course, you can go to the website where you can find the entire series of Rúnabók, A Journey Through the Runes. And you can just pick and choose which ones of the volumes maybe you want to start out with. I would recommend volume 1, but that's just me. I also have a couple of rune decks that are inspired by the books, a very, very special edition in 2 different forms. But yeah, and if you think that runestone's fascinating, you should see some of the other ones I have featured that have some very interesting stories to tell that within Scandinavia and beyond. So anyways, I ran this video way longer than I was planning to, but this is a subject that I could talk hours upon. So, yeah, that's it for now. Thanks.